Hey, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from today. We are going to get started in just a moment. We're going to allow for a few more people to log on and get settled, and then we'll get started with our presentation. So make yourself comfortable and relax, and we will get started shortly. All right. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Kevin Henry. I am the marketing specialist for the Viterbi School of Engineering, graduate and recruitment team. And I want to extend a really warm welcome and congratulations to all of you on your admission to the University of Southern California Viterbi School of Engineering. It is by no small feat that you all have been. Wait, let's see. I think Sam has a question. Oh, no. Okay. But it's by no small feat that you guys have all been admitted. Once again, I want to say congratulations. And I want you to sit back and enjoy this presentation and kind of soak up the information that we've put together for you. And then also, if you have questions, feel free to add those questions into the Q&A box that you can see towards the bottom of your screen. And we will get to those questions before the end of the webinar, but hopefully we'll answer those throughout the course of the information we prepared for you. So once again, congratulations, sit back, relax, and enjoy the session that we've put together for you, right? So again, now that you've been admitted to your program and to the University of Southern California Viterbi School of Engineering, there are a few things that we want to share with you as you guys are now making your decision on where you would like to go for grad school and if USC Viterbi is going to be the right fit for you. So in this presentation today, we're going to go over kind of four main points. We're going to talk about career and academic goals after you graduate and what that looks like for students here within the Viterbi School of Engineering. We're also going to talk about location, our very, very famous Trojan Network, alumni network, as well as research opportunities that many students within our master's programs are able to take advantage of. So that's kind of where we're going to spend most of our time today and where we want you to kind of focus as considerations as you are thinking about whether Viterbi is going to be the best fit for you. All right. So, a few facts and figures about the Viterbi School of Engineering. So, Viterbi, as a school, was founded in 1905, but back then it wasn't named the Viterbi School of Engineering. It was actually just the USC School of Engineering, founded in 1905. It was later named the Viterbi School of Engineering in 2004 by one of our alums named Andrew Viterbi, who is the developer of the Viterbi algorithm. And some of you may know what that is, some of you may not. But if you do not, the Viterbi algorithm is an algorithm that allows all of us to communicate on our cell phones without interference from other cell phones or other phones. So it allows for us to have direct connections through communication. So Andrew Viterbi is also not only the developer of the Viterbi algorithm, but also the founder of Qualcomm Communications. So a very, very well-known corporation that specializes, of course, in communication. And so our school was named after Andrew Viterbi back in 2004. He is an alum of USC and the Viterbi School of Engineering, and it was still a very active part of our school and a presence that, he constantly interacts with our faculty and our staff, and our students are able to either connect with him or meet with him through different curated events. So he's still a very active part of the Viterbi School of Engineering. As far as alumni go, Viterbi alums, we have 100,000 alumni worldwide, all right, spread out throughout the world. And this goes back to that alumni network that I mentioned before. That's something we want you to take advantage of, and it is a major part of the School of Engineering and why students choose to study engineering here. We're ranked 20th by US News and World Report. A couple of other facts and figures. We have almost 180 million annual research expenditures every year. So we are a huge research institution, specifically within the School of Engineering. Lots of funded research comes out of our school, and I'll highlight some of those a little bit later. We have 213 tenure track faculty that teach at USC Viterbi School of Engineering, as well as run labs within our school and do many of those research endeavors that I spoke about just before this. Just a quick breakdown of our gender. We have 69% male, 31% female, with applicants from all over the world, spanning 113 countries. So we're a very, very international school and university. And then most of our students are studying on campus. So we have 83% of our students that are physically on campus going to class every day, with 17% online through our Den at Viterbi online program, which, by the way, is the same program that you would get on campus. So even if you're an online student, you're taking the same classes, the same professors, the same assignments that you would get on campus. So there's no difference between the two programs. And that's definitely something to note because many schools have very, very different online programs than their on-campus programs. All right. So, location. We are located right in the hub of Los Angeles. All right. We're about 3 miles away from downtown Los Angeles. And so, right outside of our doors, there's a host of museums and restaurants and bars and clubs and, and concerts and, sporting venues. And, if there's anything that you want to explore, it's definitely located in the Los Angeles area. And many of our students are able to take advantage of the things that exist right outside of USC's doors. Another note is that we're not very far from Silicon Beach. And so many of you may have heard of Silicon Valley, which is in Northern California, which is a tech hub for industry. And so many years ago, many of those same companies began to move south and set up shop right on the beach. And so we're a few miles away from Silicon Beach. And as you can see, many of those companies exist there right in our neighborhood. You have Twitter and Snapchat and Bird and Hulu, Microsoft, Google, some of those big names that we all know and we all think about when we're thinking about internships and full-time employment offers and companies that we might want to work for once we graduate. Another note is that there are two institutes that are connected to the Viterbi School of Engineering, which many of our students are able to do research with, as well as connect with and get some hands-on experience. The first of which is ISI, which is the Information Sciences Institute. And then the second is ICT, which is the Institute for Creative Technologies. Both of those institutes are located right in Silicon Beach, right in the same hub with the Googles and the Microsofts and the YouTubes. So you're in good company when you're in the Viterbi School of Engineering, and our students are able to take advantage of just the proximity that we have to these companies and the proximity and the connection that we have to our affiliated institutes. And so a lot of research and hands-on experience kind of comes from these places. Just to give you an idea, ICT and ISI were really instrumental in technologies like ChatGPT, as well as kind of some of the technologies that we've seen in movies like deepfakes, where they're able to, create faces, on different actors and, and recreate actors that may have passed on and put them still in movies. So a lot of those technologies that we kind of benefit from in some of our entertainment aspects were developed right here in Viterbi or right at one of those institutes, ICT or ISI. So continuing on with the career aspects of things, one of the things that we want you to know as a USC Viterbi master student is that your time here in your master's program goes by very, very fast. So, most of our programs are 2-year programs, but when you think about it, once you've finished your second semester, you're already preparing for graduation. You're going to be preparing for what happens next. So it is a very, very quick pace in regards to thinking about what happens after. And so because of that, we have our own Viterbi Career Connections office that's located right in the School of Engineering, not far from where you're going to be taking your classes, just a few steps away. This is a physical space that is full-time staffed by employee staff that are there to kind of help you navigate the hiring landscape. Whether it be if you're looking for internships while you're a current student, or if you're looking for a full-time employment offer after you graduate, this is going to be a huge resource for you. A few things to note about this office: they put on a variety of different programs throughout the year. Many of them are like, workshops on like how to network, how to put together an elevator speech so that you're talking to companies and you're able to hit the most important parts of who you are in that speech. They also do each semester a career fair. So in the fall, you have a very, very large career fair with over 120 companies that actively come to campus to recruit Viterbi students only. All right. So very, very huge resource that is available only to Viterbi students. They also have a job posting website for Viterbi students only, so you can see where some of those companies that you may want to work for are hiring and what positions are open, which internships are open. And just to give you an idea, so when you start in the fall, you're going to start thinking about what your internship is going to be for the following summer. So most of our students get their internships that first semester that they're a master's student. So that's how quickly things happen. So you really want to tap into this resource when you become a Viterbi master student in the fall. And trust me, we'll reach out to you. You'll know about all the resources that are available to you through this office. And you'll be able to actually go into the office. They can do resume reviews. They can talk to you if you have competing offers. They can talk to you about how to navigate that, maybe even how to negotiate a higher salary and the best language that you should use in doing that, and what are some best practices. So this is going to be a very, very vital resource for you. It's first semester that you're a master's student at Viterbi. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about your next steps. All right. So you've been admitted. What's next? What are some things that you should be doing to kind of move this along? The first thing is that you've attended a webinar. So attend an in-person or a virtual admitted student event. And you've already done that by attending this webinar. And I encourage you to continue to explore some of our virtual and in-person offerings. Next, you can scan the QR code and kind of see what some of those next steps are, including taking a virtual tour of campus. If you've never been to our campus, or you don't have the opportunity to come before you're going to start in the fall, I would highly encourage you to do the virtual tour. One of the things about USC is that we have a very, very beautiful campus. The architecture is insanely beautiful. So it's good to see where you're going to be going to school at, where you're going to go to class at, where you're going to be hanging out and doing student organizations, or, studying or doing research. So look at the physical space and see how it speaks to you, because this is where you're going to spend the next 2 years. So definitely highly encourage you to do that. The next thing I would encourage you to do is chat with a student ambassador. And learn from their experience. We are lucky today to have three of our students that are going to be joining us on this call who will talk about their experience. So think about some of those questions you might want to ask them about their experience. And they're going to share firsthand experience of what it's like being a Viterbi master student in the electrical and computer engineering department. And then lastly, learn about the community, learn about the services and the resources. Really spend some time taking a deep dive so you know what your experience is going to be like in the fall. Important for all of our students, but also our international students. It's really important to know, to accept your admission, you must submit your statement of intent and commitment deposit by the deadline in your USC portal. All of you should know what that is by now. So you want to log into there and you want to initiate those next steps: your statement of intent, your commitment deposit, and then that will allow you to request your I-20 and initiate the visa process. So the sooner you do that, the sooner you can start that process, which is really, really important for our international students. It'll also allow you to access pre-orientation resources. That's where you're going to register for your classes, where you're going to get a chance to meet your advisor. Your advisor is going to be such a vital part of your experience here at USC Viterbi because they're going to help you navigate how to choose your classes, how to put together classes that don't overwhelm you. So that relationship is one of the most important relationships you're going to have in this process. And so you really want to start initiating that as soon as possible. You also want to join the Viterbi Mentorship Program, which will also help you navigate these next steps and then connect with your department through, of course, webinars like we're in now and explore your housing options. All right. And so now I want to pass the presentation off to someone I get the joy of working with and I've worked with for a long time. I want to introduce to you Sam Graves. She is the manager of our ECE Student Services in the Ming Shea Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Sam is a wealth of information and resource. And, I can't speak highly enough on her because she knows so much, not just about Viterbi and navigating it here as a master's student, but specifically the electrical and computer engineering department. So she is going to be a guide for you and a resource for you in navigating these next steps. And she's just also an amazing, awesome person. So if you get a chance to know her while you're here, you will be better for it. So I'm going to pass the presentation to Sam now, and she's going to talk to you more about the electrical and computer engineering department. I'll also quickly introduce three of our students that we have here today from the ECE program. We have Melvin Houston, Roderick Shi, and Yabing Liu, who are going to talk to you about their experience within the ECE department. So you are in great hands and start to get those questions together as well about what you would want to ask both Sam and our student panelists.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Henry. Beautiful words. Appreciate it. Well, welcome everyone. It's lovely to have this first interaction via the web, and then hopefully we'll have more to come. There'll be more online opportunities over the course of the next few months, and then hopefully we'll be seeing you here in August. Let me share my screen. Hopefully this is all running smoothly. See some shakes. Yep. Okay. So my name is Sam Graves, and I'm the manager of student services for the EC department. So my role is to oversee your experience as a student and kind of how advising plays into that part of getting you the right information to make your time in the program as smooth as possible. And I work with a team of advisors. To help facilitate that. So again, welcome and congratulations on your admission. So our student services team is a team of 4 advisors plus myself, who are dedicated to working with master students in our department. We have a little on the order of about 950, 1,000 master students in our master's program. So we have 4 advisors that divide the load of working with our master students. We're located in the electrical engineering building, or it's actually the Hughes Aircraft Electrical Engineering Building, right in the heart of the engineering area of campus. Um, Definitely want to point you to our department website if you haven't already been viewing it, to look at our faculty and information, degree requirements. Definitely bookmark that. There's a lot of information you can reach out, see there. So this is our team of advisors. Myself, I mainly work with our PhD student population, but I have up until recently worked with our master students. And so we have 4 advisors: Patty Reinhardt, Gabby Garcia, Jamie Salata, and we are in the process. I'm doing interviews this week. We'll be adding an additional advisor to our team. So typically we split our advisors to work with you based on your family last name. So that way you really have a main point person. So if you're in the first part of the alphabet, A through J, for instance, you would be working with Patty Reinhardt, would be your main point of contact. So if you're on campus and you swing by the office, any one of us can assist you, but we really like you to build that one-on-one relationship with your assigned advisor. So we have you direct your main inquiries to those individual people that you're assigned to. We have a large department. Us in the computer science department are the 2 largest departments in the Viterbi School. We have well over 60 faculty, but we have some great faculty administrators who kind of lead the department. So Professor Richard Leahy is our chair. Professor Michelle Povalelli is our vice chair. And then Professor Peter Burrell, he's our associate chair. He kind of really oversees the graduate program and looks at policies and opportunities and things for our master students, how our decision making at the department level affects our students. And then anytime we have students looking for any special requests or kind of exceptions or things, we have Professor Todd Brunn who kind of oversees that process for our master students. So we have a number of programs in our department, so 12 different master's programs that you may have considered when you applied to USC. So the most popular is our master's in electrical and computer engineering, and then both our master's in computer engineering. We have a very focused machine learning and data science program, and our master's in financial engineering. That's probably where we see the majority of our students selecting as their majors. But then we have some other more niche programs that really have focused degree requirements from the list you see here. One nice thing is that you've been admitted to our department. So really, it is possible. We do have sometimes have students that say, for instance, come in and they're a master's in VLSI design student. And they may decide, you know what, I want a little bit more flexibility, and we can change your major. It's very easy after your first semester to change to a major within our department after the first semester. So oftentimes we'll see students switching to our more general master's in electrical and computer engineering because it has the most flexible degree requirements. Or we have students that say, you know what, I really want to do the machine learning and data science focus. And so we can walk you through that process. A few programs that we want to see you take certain classes your first term, get certain grades, but it is fairly easy to switch majors within our department if that's what you decide. We do have a dual degree program with our ISC department in engineering management. So that's the last program listed there. It's a 48 unit program because it is a dual degree. So that's why it is so many more units. We have a small subset of students that pursue that, but you're welcome to look into that if you're interested. But definitely talk to your advisor if that's something that interests you. So in terms of what to expect in the next couple of months after you certify your intent to enroll, so definitely get familiarized with our website. There's a lot of information on there, information about the degree requirements. You can see kind of classes that we recommend for first semester students. We will be sending an updated information list. So we'll be sending out kind of a very detailed information to you, likely in early June. With information about registering for classes. So know that a large part of our international population, you won't be able to register until you're physically here on campus. So that will probably be late July or August timeframe. So you won't be able to register until you physically get to USC. But if you're a domestic student, you can register sooner. So know that we'll be sending out information about what classes we really encourage you to take in your first semester, because we want you to start off on the right track and kind of get some fundamental courses under your belt in the first term to then launch on to kind of higher level courses in your future semesters or classes in your area that might have prerequisites to get out of the way in the first semester. There's also just kind of detailed things that you have to go through in terms of registration. Different schools have different processes for registration. We have something that's called declarants or departmental approvals. Basically, we have classes and we want to ensure that you as an ECE student get priority in registering first. So we have what's called a declarance on classes. So we'll issue the declarance to you so that you can get into the class before maybe other students from other majors get into our classes. But that will be all covered in our registration information email we'll send out in early June. So know that information's coming, but there's no need to kind of, at this stage, really get geared up and worrying about what to be registering for classes yet. We also typically offer placement exams in August, just before classes start. And so the placement exams are really, they're not required. You're not required to take placement exams, but if you feel like you have taken a course that's equivalent to, say, our EE 450 or our EE 457, if you've taken something similar to that during your undergrad, for those two classes, we have a placement exam that you can take. And if you pass the exam, then we will waive that class. It doesn't reduce the number of courses for your degree, but it'll allow you to move on to like the 500 level classes that require that as a prerequisite. So again, more information forthcoming about that. And then definitely, after instruction begins, Kevin did a great, talking about all the different resources in terms of career services, student organizations. Once classes start in August, or probably in August timeframe, you'll really start hearing about different upcoming events. Organization fairs, career fairs that'll be happening. So definitely take advantage of that in September once you're here and settled in. But we definitely want you to take advantage of talking to your instructors, going to office hours, talking to your TAs. So certainly as an on-campus student, you have access to do that all in person. But if you're pursuing the program via DEN, definitely our faculty and students are available to meet with you via Zoom, that sort of thing. So we definitely recommend that to take advantage of talking to the faculty. Um, And then we have our student services office in EEB 102 to feel free to drop by any Monday through Friday, and we have staff on hand to talk to you or answer any questions that you have. In the fall is when you'll register for your upcoming spring classes in late October. So no sooner do you get kind of rolling in classes, and then we'll be sending you information about registering for the next term. So, but we do offer a lot of different seminars in the department. So bringing in speakers from a variety of different areas and topics related to electrical and computer engineering. So we have a big conference room in on the first floor of our building where so there's always constantly posters or emails being sent out about seminars that you can attend. So to hear from either faculty or people from industry that are working in the field. And if you have kind of long-term interest of possibly pursuing a PhD, please definitely know to come talk to me. I can walk you through that process. We definitely have master students who will transition from our master's program and then go get admitted into our PhD program. Certainly, it's very important that you get involved in research with a professor in our department and get good grades, but just know that I'm a resource to discuss that further once you get kind of settled in with things in your first term. And again, can't reiterate enough, our Viterbi Career Connections office is an invaluable resource. Certainly, USC has a larger career services office that deals with the whole university, but we have one embedded right in the Viterbi School of Engineering that's really focused on the needs and focuses of an engineering student and has those contacts with industry partners that are all engineering related. So definitely take advantage of our Viterbi Career Connections office, and you'll definitely get information from them. So it's why it's always very important to be staying on top of your email and announcements because there's so much for you to take advantage of while being a USC Viterbi student. So at this point, I would be happy to answer some questions. Maybe we can spend 5 or 10 minutes, and then we will go over to our student panel. But any questions for me related to being a student or advising? Let me see. I'll exit out of here. Stop share. Sorry, bear with me for a second. Let me pulling up the Q&A. Thanks for entering them in. First question, have recipients of department scholarships been identified and have you completed notifying them? I'll hand that off to Kevin.
Yes. So we are still in the process of identifying scholarship students. Most of them have already been notified. So, just keep that in mind. But we are still in the process of issuing those. So all hope is not lost. But for the most part, we have definitely notified many of those students.
Mm-hmm. So are there research opportunities for DEN students? So I think if where there's a will, there's a way. So if you are a DEN, student completing your degree from a distance, really it's just taking the initiative to reach out to faculty because there is work that probably can be done remotely or you can work in collaboration with a faculty member. So with directed research, it's a matter of, you know, speaking with faculty, finding if there's a way to contribute or have them supervise a project. For most of our master's programs, you can earn up to 4 units of directed research credit. You would register an EE 590 directed research. So you can do directed research for academic credit. As one of your classes for your degree program, or you can just work on something as kind of a side project, and add that to your resume without it being something that you take for your degree requirements. So there is some flexibility with that. But again, like I said, it's kind of like if you show the initiative and reach out to faculty, and that's why it's important to like get to know the faculty that you're taking classes with. So yes, as a Den student, you won't have that face to face, but if you're attending the classes live, watching the classes live, there is a way for you to, you know, ask questions live in class. So it's just a matter of you really like making yourself known and getting to know the faculty. Um, so a question about general first semester requirements that apply for the Quantum Information Systems program, or does it have different curriculum without those requirements? So yes, the MS QIS program does have specific degree requirements that is, very different from the rest of all the other programs. So when we send out our degree registration and advisement information in early June, we will list kind of the recommended first semester classes, which are kind of the building that you'll foundational courses to take in future semesters. So, um, but yeah, but each degree program, there is overlap with a number of other programs where you might see if you look at the different majors, you'll see some similar courses among a lot of programs. The QIS program definitely has specifics to that program, but you can always start as a QIS and switch to the ECE General. With the ECE General Master's Program, the requirement is that you complete 28 units. 20 of your 28 units have to be EE graduate level courses, but that gives you 2 courses. Most of our courses are 4 units apiece that you could potentially take from other departments in the Viterbi School, but you just have to have a special approval on what classes you're considering. Um, so another question about the QIS elective. So in terms of summer courses and offerings, um, so in summer we don't offer as many classes. So main terms are fall and spring. There is a summer term. You're not required to be registered in summer. There are classes offered, but not as many. So we have some students that will take classes in summer, and so they might take classes from the EE department, or if they're looking to take an elective from another department, there's an approval process for that, and we do have students do that. Um, so, um, um, but the classes that we offer in summer, like this coming summer, are what you could expect to see in the summer of 2027. It's usually pretty similar offerings. Um, So I have a student who asked that they've signed up to be a DEN student to do the program online. Are they able to attend classes in person occasionally when they come to LA? For the most part, the answer is yes. So assuming that the class that you're registered in hasn't maxed out in terms of if the class can only hold 50 people in person and like it's maxed at 50, it's doubtful that we get 100% attendance. So if you did show up, there would likely be a seat for you. So it's just in most cases, yes. If you were coming to LA, you probably could sit in on the class that you're technically registered for the Den section, unless it's a class that is kind of at max capacity, which sometimes is the case, but not all the time. And then two, it's not always 100% attendance. So chances are you probably could. I think that covered questions this round. I think we'll switch over to our student portion of the student panel, and we certainly will have some more time if you have more questions that pop up after talking to the students. So at this point, I'd like to welcome Yibing, Melvin, and Roderick, who I believe have part of my screen covered, who are current master students, I believe all current master students in the ECE department. Thank you for spending your time this morning to help answer questions from these accepted students. So if we could start off by each of you starting off with introducing yourself, letting us know what you're pursuing in terms of a major or focus area, where your hometown is, and why you chose to attend USC. So if we could start with you, Being, if you could go first, please.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm a master's student in electrical engineering, and my track is machine learning data science. And I'm now currently in my fourth semester, so I'm graduating this May. So if you feel if you have questions about my track or student involvement, student life, anything academic or internship or researches, feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Thanks, you Bing. And next up, we've got Melvin.
Good morning, everybody. I am also a second year graduating this May, studying electrical engineering in the master's program, specializing in the computer architecture and the VLSI track. So if you have any questions regarding that, you can definitely reach out to me. And the reason why I chose USC is that USC is just, I'm from here and actually I'm from here in Los Angeles, and USC is such a huge staple in the area. But specifically for academic reasons, they offered a 2-year Master's of Science program. I wanted to figure out if I wanted to get a PhD, so I figured I'd do the 2-year Master's program as a stepping stone. And I didn't have to necessarily go straight into a PhD to get a master's, as some schools do. That plus the world-renowned faculty that I've done research on, and I figured that I could just learn so much from them. So it just made it a pretty easy choice to go to USC.
Great. And Roderick, good morning. Thanks for joining us. If you could start by just introducing yourself, your major, where you're from, and why you chose to come to USC.
Yeah, of course. Good morning, everyone. My name is Roderick Shi, and I'm choosing USC. I come from UC Irvine, actually, pretty close by to USC. So when I was at UC Irvine for my undergrad, I heard a lot of great things about USC, especially from my faculty, and they have been telling me how great the networking society is at USC, and they've been telling us how great USC is good at the Children Network and how Children Network can help you with your future career growth. Actually, I was fortunate to have a lot of friends before I even joined USC. So I enjoyed the USC's events before I was a USC student. So I learned a lot about this school. That's why it made me a very easy choice to choose to come to USC and become a Trojan.
Great. Wonderful. Maybe next, if we could talk about the classes that you're all in, kind of what were classes like, first semester versus future semesters. How demanding has the classwork been, and what's been your favorite class and why? If you don't mind, multi-layered question. We'll start with you, Roderick.
Yeah. So classes are Oh, what can I say? Well, we have a bunch of different classes with different levels, especially for ECE. We have 400 levels, which are pretty much the senior level of undergrad. And we have 500 level, which is the master level, and we have 600 level, which is a little bit higher than master. What I'm taking right now, the classes are much smaller because I'm entering those classes which are a little bit higher level. These classes are usually structured with, professor, some CPs, which we call course producers, which are just like TA, but they're master students who are in the class who are helping you to figure out what's going on in the class. And we also have, of course, TA, which is a PhD student to help you with the course. From my experience, a lot of those classes are really well structured with a lot of information that you can learn from the professor and the CP. I really love enjoying talking to the TA and the CP. They are students just like you, which means that whatever they learn, whatever trouble that they met, it's easy for us to connect. So I would say really take the advantage to talk with the CPs and TAs in your classes because that's a great way to learn more.
Great. Thank you. Melvin, anything you can add to that?
Yes. So a few things I'd like to add to that. Coming from the undergraduate coursework, this master's coursework definitely is a lot more challenging. And I think at many at first glance, many people say like, oh, only 2 courses per semester is a full load. Like, no problem. But I think you'll find that it is very challenging and it will take most of your time. However, even though it gets a little more difficult to learn these more difficult higher level topics, I think it becomes easier to deal with because you get to focus so much more of your time on it, and you find students becoming super passionate about what they're learning. So my favorite course here at USC is EE 533, which is network processor programming and design. And that's a super hot class because it covers hardware software co-design. So pretty much a lot of industries are worried about making AI accelerators, and that's exactly what we do in that class. So if you're interested in taking that, what you get to build is a CPU from scratch, a GPU from scratch, and integrate it into a network. And that is exactly what NVIDIA is doing. If you want to look up the NVIDIA Bluefield 4 chip, we're doing pretty much a small version of that. And that class is super demanding. It probably takes, no exaggeration, about 60 hours a week of my time, but I really love it. And it just becomes a passion project for me. So even though it's a little more difficult to deal with, it's just really enjoyable.
Great, thank you. Yibing, anything from you?
Okay, so I can talk about something like about my track, which is machine learning data science. So like I feel the courses in my track, they're like mostly like two types. First one is more theoretical, where you learn about like machine learning theories and some math theories. I do personally prefer like the second type, which is the courses that allow you to do some real projects. So like for example, like E541 and 547, they're both student units and they're both about like some real projects. So like there's easy projects where like you just build a CN classification, and there are more like interesting projects that you can use large language modeling agents to build some real chatbot or some like real-time Gmail classification or something. You can build your own like ideas, which I really enjoy it. And I feel like taking courses, there's some like other opportunities that so after you take the courses, you can ask your professor to join their lab, to join some researches, and or even like they have some like unpaid summer internship opportunities which they can offer you. So like um, even though I'm like we're electrical engineering track, but for my track, machine learning data science, you can also take some CSCI courses, which is belongs to the CS department, that it can also count towards your degree. So for my track, like if you're in my track, I do recommend you to take some CS courses. Like for CS courses is like 200-ish people, whereas E courses, the most I take is like at most like 70-ish. I can't remember, but CS has way more people, and you get to connect with some CS professors, which they can bring you some new opportunities and new like research opportunities or internship opportunities. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. Well, one of the questions that got posted in the Q&A lines up with what one of the questions we were going to kind of ask next. But in terms of how did you find housing when you arrived to come to USC? Any tips? You can touch on your safety around campus. What's been your experience? Um, and yeah, the question in the chat was, how does location impact the housing options or traveling to and from campus as a master's student? Yibi, why don't you start off if you don't mind?
Okay, sure. So like when I look for housing, I mostly like look into some apps like WeChat or something, which is more like Chinese people stuff. But I do know that a lot of people they look for housing from Facebook, and they also do some on-campus housing. Um, I feel like for retiree students, like most people I know, they live on the like the west side of the campus, which is closer to the Viterbi area. But there are also some people they live in the northern part. I feel like I think everyone knows that like the free lift within DPS is like for this semester, I think is from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. or something. Like within this time zone, you can feel free to take some share rides within the DPS area, and that's totally for free, which I feel like because I don't have a car and I don't have scooter, but like scooter is a good thing. Like I recommend everyone to have a scooter, like if you feel comfortable with that. But like I use the free Lyft program a lot, and it's really safe. Like within the campus, it's really safe, and even during the night. So like when you take the Lyft, you can take it from one of the gates, like on campus, and take it directly to your house. It's like I feel like that guarantees a lot of safety for like late night shift. Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Melvin, do you mind going next?
Yes. So for me, I have a special case. Like I said, I'm from here in Los Angeles, so my family's home is just less than a mile away. However, I've done apartment hunting, especially in the Bay Area for internships, and it can be very challenging. So one resource that I stumbled upon was a website called furnishfinder.com, and that is it was originally geared towards travel nurses. However, they allow interns and students to enroll on the website too. And there's many places that you can lease on a month-to-month basis. You don't have to have a contract necessarily unless you agree to. You can have a month-to-month rental with furniture. So it's really easy for those who only want like the 9 months because I believe at Viterbi, I'm not Viterbi necessarily, but the USC graduate student housing, it will ask you to do either 9 months or 12 months, but this is a different option. Outside of that, I believe that there was a PDF that we were sent as first year students in this department, and it had a huge resource field of like online, off campus, and on campus housing. But in my experience with other students in this program specifically, most people live off campus, like Yibing had said, and within the Department of Public Safety, the DPS zone for free lives. But if I were to do this and did not have a home nearby, I would definitely go to furnishfinder.com, and they're not paying me to say that. So
Love that. Love that. Thank you. And Roderick, how about you? What was your experience looking for a place?
Yeah, of course. Well, just want to add on, Furnished Finder was definitely one of the best for me too when I was trying to find housing in the Bay Area. But yeah, so I'm a special case too. I live in Orange County, which means I commute every week, about like 40 minutes to an hour drive. So I can talk a little bit about, how my friends are finding housings around campus. There are several resources. I've joined a lot of WhatsApp group first. They have a great amount of WhatsApp groups inside of the circle of USC, and they post different housing information. Facebook is another one. However, Facebook will help you be a little bit careful to select the ones that you think are legit. For And another one is Slack. So when I joined USC, the first year, I remember I was automatically joined a Slack group, as just my class of 2026. And in the side of the Slack group, there were tons of friends, tons of people who are studying the same major, and they're all looking for housing there. So that could be one of the resources too. But for those of you who are commuting, I just want you to know that you can either choose to pay to park on campus or for free off campus. But the walk distance from off campus to Viterbi School is really pretty short. So like it's very doable, and parking hasn't been a problem for me at all. Uh, so I enjoy commuting. So either way works.
Great. Thank you. So next question, and we'll try to answer one of the questions that was posted in the chat. If you can talk about, I think you're all second years, so kind of what you did last summer. Did any of you have, or if you've been involved in directed research, did you do it last summer, or how did you go about that? How did you get hooked up with a faculty member, or last summer, if you did an internship, how was that process for you? And tell us about what you did.
I can.
Roderick, we'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Melvin. So last summer, oh, that was a wonderful summer for me. I joined a company for an internship. The company's name was Applied Materials, and I was the electrical and system engineer intern there for the summer, from the end of May till pretty much the end of August. So I had a great time there. I guess I can talk a little bit about what I did there and how I found this internship. So it took me several months to, hunt for internships. And at the end of the day, I was able to secure two offers in the end, and I chose this company because I really, really wanted to join the semiconductor industry. And as you probably have already heard, ECE students, we hear a lot of students want to really join the semiconductor industry just because of, the thriving of AI, the increasing amount of roles in the semiconductor. And this company specifically really helped me to structure a broader understanding of what's going on in the semiconductor industry because we are the one of the biggest supplier of TSMC, which is the biggest chip manufacturer in the world. So once I got those knowledges from my internship, and I was also working closely with all those great people from around the world. One thing that you realize from working with big companies is that you're really gonna work with teams and people from all over the world. It's so diverse, and you're gonna see people from everywhere. Those smart people working together as a team, fighting towards the same goal, which is amazing. At the end of the internship, I came back to school and I felt more energetic to study for some reason. I just wanted to learn more about everything. It just raised my curiosity so much, and I felt like that was one of the best experiences ever. Oh, by the way, I'm also going back to the company after this semester, so yeah, thank you.
Great. Yibing, do you mind sharing next?
Sure. Okay, so last summer, my plan is like I didn't take an internship here. I had my internship back in China, which is in the Chinese Academy of Science. So but I think I can also share some of the experience of my friends. So from my friends in my track in machine learning data science, I feel like most people they find some good internships in big companies for last summer. For this track, it's mostly like SDE or MLE or DS or something, but they all find something really good. Um, and also, I did have some friends who didn't go to internship. They choose to stay on campus and do some like research assistant role. So I do have a friend who's from like the data science department who's also an ambassador here, but in a different major. For his summer internship experience, like he stayed on campus with one of the professors from his courses, and they actually like did some AI agent projects, which is also like related to a small company that the professor's friends has. So it's a good research opportunity and it's also like a good thing to write on the resume. And we do have like some courses that the professor will offer you some summer internship opportunities on campus that you can join in their labs. And they have a lot of them like related to like AI, machine learning, large language model. Like that's my track. So I only know about this part. It's unpaid, but like you get into some lab groups with PhD students and like professors that you can also gain some really good experience. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Melvin.
Yes, so last summer I interned at the Texas Instruments Corporation, and that was at the Santa Clara location in the Bay Area. And that was a really fun role that I had. I was on the analog design team, which doesn't seem to be as popular as digital today, but I'm very glad to have gotten those skills. And I got those skills specifically by taking the course EE536A, the analog course offered here. And another great thing about the USC Viterbi is that when we had the career fair on campus, this was early fall 2024. It was an on-campus career fair, and I was able to speak to Texas Instruments because they visited us and got an in-person interview the next day. And that was a whole hour of getting grilled on whiteboard problems. But long story short, I got the offer, and I think that was very powerful to have an in-person connection with the interviewer to walk through my thought process and really go through the motions of what I've already learned in my 536 analog course. So yes, I interned at Texas Instruments, and I think it was a very fruitful connection that I had there. And there was a few USC alumni, even though it was in the Bay Area. There's a few USC alumni I got to connect with.
Great.
So that's just we're a world-renowned program, and we're everywhere.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Question that came in, it's related for those of you who are looking to do the program, um, uh, perhaps online, but where you plan to be working full-time while pursuing the program on a part-time basis. So questions about what the experience is like as in terms of work-life balance, school-life balance. Certainly, you being Melvin and Roderick are all full-time students, but I can speak just in my time, many years of working in the Viterbi School and advising master students, is that we do have a number of working professionals. We always give the sound advice to start with one class per semester, and that's typically the typical cadence of taking classes, going part-time to manage that work-life balance. Sometimes we'll have a student who won't heed our advice and are like, no, I'm gonna, I want to pound this degree out. It's really valuable to like, yeah, find that balance. And two, you're gonna know like, oh, this time of year, I've got no major projects. I've got a bit more time. But in general, one class a semester is really the right pace if you're working full time because of the time needed for a class. But as a master student working full time, if you take, one class in fall, one class in spring, one class in summer, you should be able to get done with the degree in 2.5 to 3 years. But we really would rather you err on the side of caution. So we definitely have people complete the degree successfully, but we don't want you to take on too much at first, especially see how the first couple semesters of classes go. So just maybe one last class question, if it's okay with with you, Henry. But in terms of kind of work school life balance, what have you all done outside of the classroom? Is anything you've gotten involved in or enjoyed in the LA area or student organizations or things other than the schoolwork? Oh, we do believe in the whole person here at USC and Viterbi. So hopefully you've taken advantage of that while you've been here. Melvin, how about you go first?
Yes, so I'm a part of my National Society of Black Engineers chapter here at USC, NSB, and
Mhm.
that is my 1 hour socialization per week. I'm just kidding. But that is my way to connect with other people outside of my specific department and to kind of just build new connections. And recently, just last week, actually, Kevin and I went to the national conference that was hosted in Baltimore. So that was really a good way to expand my horizons outside of the Southern California area. And it's the NSB chapter is just really huge here, especially compared to what I've seen from personally my undergrad school. Coming to here to USC, we really have a lot of initiative and we have a lot of funding to have these great opportunities. So that's just one thing I'm involved in outside of the academics.
Thank you. Yibing?
For on campus student involvement, I didn't participate much, but I know there's a lot of like events going on campus, so like there's a lot of like performances, and there might be some like real because I'm really into music, there might be some like really famous music people that come on campus. So like for this semester, I think we did have John Mayer here.
I
Like,
went
which
to
is
that.
like he's yeah, he's one of my favorite musicians. But like the we have the ticket for free, but like it's kind of like competitive to like get into the like wait list. I didn't get on it like in the very end, but like it's good to have some like really famous like people on campus. And I think like yesterday or today, there's a Netflix show that they film it on campus, which is like right outside the Levy Library, which is the most popular library on campus. And we do like if you like music, because I like music, so like there's also some really a lot of opportunities. We have open mic, we have Tommy Yoki that you can sing on campus like as long as you want to. And we also have some like really like good bands and also like really good choirs on campus that you can like feel free to join those. Like that's my part of the like student life experience here. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. How about you, Roderick?
So, I'm involved in a student mentorship program, and I've been a mentor in Viterbi for 2 semesters, and I had five mentees in total. So I benefit a lot from this program. I want to say, for the first semester, I was a mentee, and my mentor is now working in a huge company now, and she helped me a lot. She was I would say, one of the best students in her class, and I was really lucky to have her as my mentee. But now I'm a mentor. I'm doing the same thing as her. I'm helping my mentees to grow and social and connect with more people and, fixing resumes and everything. So that's something that I do in my part-time too. And another thing is that um, I am doing so much of outside trips these days. I'm learning camping now. I'm just starting to fishing in the San Diego area. So, I'm doing a lot of those things. I'm trying new hiking spots. I feel like I've tried all the LA hiking spots, which are, really awesome. Hollywood one and the Culver City ones. Um, what else? So, yeah, so there's a lot of things. Just recently, I've got into music too. I just want to learn, practice some piano after class. I'm just trying to build my life a little bit. Um, More diverse and trying to prepare myself to better have a better academic life and also prepare myself to enter the workforce soon. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate all those. Um, that I think wraps up mine. I don't see any other additional questions, but if you have any more thoughts, please feel free to put them in the Q&A um, chat. But I've appreciated spending this time with you all. Please know you're welcome to reach out to anyone on our advising staff if you have any more questions that come up. But we will have more opportunities. Planned academic webinars after you. So the key thing is once you do decide to attend and get certified, there'll be a lot more information forthcoming. Information about housing. We'll have an academic webinar, which will be another kind of precursor to orientation to interact with the advising staff. So, um, you've got a lot of choices to make, but there is value with making your decision sooner than later because then you can kind of start moving onward in your information gathering. So, Kevin, do you have any more other thoughts?
No, this has been great. I thank you, Sam, and I thank our student panelists for sharing their experience and their expertise. Thank you guys for joining us today. I appreciate all the questions that came in from our participants. And like Sam said, once you certify, it kind of initiates more engagement and more interaction that we'll have with you, and more opportunities for you to learn more about the department and about the opportunities that exist within it. So we look forward to welcome you to Viterbi and the Trojan family this fall. So fight on.
Right on.